Hi, everybody. Angel here. Hope you're doing great. And today I wanted to come on and talk about letting go of waste. Now, a lot of times we think of waste as, for example, garbage, trash, whatever, however you call it, depending on where you live in the world. And I really want to talk about waste in a more generic or general and broader sense. Looking at aspects of our life such as food that we consume, clothing, people, jobs, rituals, hobbies, thoughts, etc. So covering different elements and aspects of our diet and lifestyle overall. So I want to start with letting go of waste in the form of food. I had to learn along my life's journey that all food is not equal. You know, we sometimes hear, oh, all calories are not equal. Well, all foods are not equal either. And I learned along my journey that, you know, the foods that are very processed, foods that are animal-based, foods that just really have very low vibration, low energy, low nutrition, those foods are basically closer to the element of waste, because those types of foods are also causing a lot of waste, a lot of toxicity, a lot of heavy burdens and energy in our bodies. So hi there, thanks for joining. What I'm talking about now are replacing those low energy foods, those processed foods, those animal-based foods that don't have a lot of fiber, that don't have a lot of hydration, that don't have a lot of nutrition. Replacing those foods, letting go of those foods, and embracing and consuming more high energy foods like your fruits, your vegetables, your nuts, your seeds, your herbs, and your spices. Your lentils, your beans, those are going to be the higher vibration foods that will get you where you need to be and will help you to let go of a lot of waste in the body, a lot of waste in our energy levels, in our thoughts. You know, a lot of foods are very low vibration. They really make us tired. They make us sleepy. And yes, sometimes we want that comfort. We want to kind of lower the vibration, lower the frequency, and lower the energy. Of course, that's what we want to do sometimes. However, in general, you know, if you go by the 80-20 rule or the 90-10 rule, whatever you want to call it, right? So the vast majority of the time, we want to really avoid those foods that are going to cause waste in the body and waste in our energy levels, lowering our energy levels. And we want to focus more on those high vibration foods. So again, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs, spices, lentils, beans. We also want to really focus on eating the rainbow, eating all of our colors. We want to get our colors in our fruits and vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs, spices, lentils, and beans, such as our reds, oranges, yellows, greens, blues, purples, whites, and browns. We want to get all of our colors because every single color has a different set of nutrients, has a different profile that will really, really help us to thrive and flourish on our journey. And so you know, that will also help us to get rid of the waste, because the more foods we eat with high fiber and high hydration, you hear me talking about that, you know, often, those types of foods are going to help us to get rid of the waste that's accumulating in the body. A lot of people are really struggling with constipation, with sluggish digestion, with indigestion. with pain and inflammation and mucus building up in the body and the energy, that's waste. Those are signs and symbols of waste. And so we really want to, let go of some of that waste, or as much of that waste as we can. And I know for everybody it's not overnight. So I understand that. Sometimes it takes a little longer for some of us to kind of let go of the waste. So don't really, what I'm saying is I try to avoid focusing on like bland, pale, processed foods that are causing waste and stagnation in the body. And I focus more on the high energy foods, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs, spices, grains, lentils, beans, etc. Now I want to, first of all, say hi to everybody who's joining. Thank you so much for joining, either live or on the replay. I want to now move to even like clothing, for example. A lot of us have a lot of clothing, a lot of waste that we've accumulated throughout our lifetime. I know I am also one of those people who've accumulated a lot of stuff during my lifetime. And sometimes we need to let it go, and I struggle with that. I really, really struggle with letting go of certain I'll just say like objects or clothes because of nostalgic reasons, memories, some attachments we might have. And I know for a lot of us too, that happens even on our diet. We have attachments and memories and nostalgia for different foods that we grew up eating, or memories that we created with other people when we were consuming those foods. So I can kind of see the correlation also with, the whole idea of letting go, let's say, of objects that no longer serve us, because that's really what it's all about. And so, I know I'm struggling with that in the moment, letting go of certain clothing that, I'm very attached to for whatever reason. And so, that's something to think about, because these types of holding on to what is no longer really serving us, can create some stagnation in the body as well. So I just wanted to mention that. Also, I want to move on to letting go of waste in the form of people, in the form of relationships. This is a hard one, and I had to learn this, and this is super hard sometimes because, we have relationships with people, and we don't want to, end those relationships for whatever reason, multiple reasons. We don't want to hurt their feelings. We don't want them to be upset with us. We don't want them to abandon us. We don't want other people to be upset with us because we kind of broke off a relationship with someone else. And so, or maybe we're just really used to being around certain relationships and certain energies and certain people. And so it's really hard to let go sometimes. And so, but it's necessary sometimes to let go. And that's a part of letting go of waste, of relationships that are no longer serving us. Maybe that will mean completely cutting off with someone. Maybe that will mean reducing the amount of time and energy that you invest in certain people because they're not in alignment with your values, with your interests, with your vibrations, your goals, your dreams, your objectives. We may have, had a good vibe with someone 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. And, we've kind of evolved and transformed and changed, which is normal, totally normal. And so sometimes it's really difficult to let go of certain relationships, but sometimes we have to do that. And I'm also going to talk about the relationship we have with ourselves. Letting go of those toxic thoughts and feelings and relationships that we have with ourselves. A lot of times we have relationships with ourselves that are not very high vibration, that are not very uplifting. Sometimes we're really hard on ourselves and we criticize ourselves so much. I'm suggesting that we let go of that energy as well, that we let go of the waste of those toxic, harmful thoughts about ourselves, the low self-esteem, the low self-worth. all of that, to just let that go as a part of the whole category of relationships, because relationships are not only with other people, relationships are with ourselves. And I had to learn this the hard way, and I'm still learning this. I am still working on this. So we're all a work in progress. Thanks for joining. We're all a work in progress. And so, sometimes these relationships with ourselves and with others need to kind of, get a little, a refurbishing, a redesign. And so, that's what I'm referring to when I speak about letting go of waste in the form of relationships. My next topic is, for example, well, before I move on my next topic, I want to say, so it's not like when we say we let go of a certain person, or we let go of certain thoughts, or relationship patterns that we even have with ourselves, that there will be a void. No, we're going to replace that energy. We're going to replace those relationships in that space, if you will, that energy, with more uplifting relationships. We're going to find and connect with people who we resonate with, who we vibe with, who we understand, who we respect, and who understand us and who respect us. So we create like a new set of relationships. So it's not like we're going to be all alone. No, we're not going to be all alone, but we will then gravitate and attract. We will gravitate towards other people and attract other people into our lives who are more in alignment with us. So we get rid of those quote wasteful unquote relationships, and we replace them with more uplifting and high energy, high vibration, high frequency, and beautiful, beautiful relationships. And the same thing with ourselves. We're not going to abandon ourselves, of course not, but we're going to I see this comment here. This is hilarious. I will address that comment in a second. So the relation with ourselves, right? We are not going to abandon ourselves. Of course not. However, we are going to replace those toxic thoughts that we're having, those wasteful thoughts that we're having about ourselves and towards ourselves. We're going to replace those with uplifting thoughts, with reassuring thoughts, with supportive thoughts, with high self-worth, high confidence, and self-love, self-care. That's what we're going to do. We're just going to replace it. We're not going to get rid of those, of course, we're not going to get rid of the relationship with ourselves. Now, I have a comment here. I attract jerks is what someone is saying in the comment. Well, maybe that could be, shall we say, an indication that maybe you may want to look at yourself, because supposedly we, like attracts like. And that's what I was saying earlier, that we might have had a great vibration. We might have had a great vibration with someone 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, but that doesn't mean that we still have the same vibration. It doesn't mean, that we still vibe with that person, that we're in alignment with that person. So your question is, what does that say about you? Well, I mean, that's really up to you to decide. I would suggest that you really kind of dig a little bit deeper. Let's just say, don't just keep this surface level and like, oh yeah, we're just joking around. Sure, it's great to joke around, but what I would say, what is it that's missing in you? What is it that you are trying to, who are the types of people you want to attract? Like you're saying you're attracting jerks. Well, what is it that you're doing that's attracting these jerks? And not only that, I would just say, if you really feel like these people are jerks, I personally would spend way less time with them. And if it's possible, without, of course, hurting their feelings or people getting all upset and bent out of shape and all of that, I would say just end the relationship or limit the relationship as much as you can, of course, without, hurting people. And so that's what I would say. And also to like dig deep, like who is it that you really want to attract? Who is it? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who do you want to learn from? Who do you want to teach? Who do you want to support? Who do you want to share with? What are the qualities of these people? And are you those qualities? Do you have those qualities within you? Is something that I would ask myself, because I'm going through a lot of this too. But at the same time, I will say, we're calling them jerks here in the chat. But I think we're just human. I am meeting so many people who would fit that, description of jerks. So I'm single, hashtag vegan single here. So I'm waiting for my vegan king to show up. And in this whole world of dating, I wasn't even going to be talking about this. It just didn't even cross my mind until, I'm seeing these comments here. But, and I'm meeting guys who one would generally call jerks, but so I don't really take it personally. I just chalk it up to, yes, there are people who are a little bit lost in life, or we're just not a good match, and that's fine. But also I try to figure out, well, what is it that I can do better? Where can I set my boundaries? Where can I be more discerning? Where can I be more in tune with who I really want to be with, so that I don't waste a lot of time. That's the other thing too. I think it's inevitable. I think we're always going to find people who are a little bit what you're calling jerks here in the comments. So and for other people, we might be the jerks. That's the other thing too. The tables can flip, and switch on us as well. So I would say, limit your time with these people, cut it off if you need to, in a nice way, of course, and just work on yourself and just be the person you want to attract. I know that's what I'm working on. So that's what I would say. And thank you for the comments. Another way of letting go of waste can be, sometimes we have low energy jobs, careers. So sometimes we, are called to let those go. I know this has happened to me in my life. I'm seeing it happen with other people in their lives. And sometimes we just need to know when to call it quits and create a new vision for ourselves. Create that career of our dreams that we really want, that's going to be fulfilling to us. I love when, people say things like, well, what would you do if money were not an issue? What would you do if you were not afraid? Like, those two scenarios right there for me are so powerful and so beautiful in letting go of waste, letting go of what is no longer serving me. What would I do if I were not afraid? What would I do if money were not an object, or were not a concern or a challenge? Those are really powerful questions. And so that's what I would say, when you're trying to figure out like how to get, what to replace your current wasteful, low energy job or career with. What would you do if you had no barriers at all? You had no obstacles at all, no hurdles to jump over at all. That's my approach anyway. As I am trying to, also make those big decisions in my life. You might be living also in a place that's really like draining and wasting your energy. You might have, gotten yourself into like living in a certain city, a certain neighborhood, a certain building, a certain environment. And so again, we want to, move away from that and step into, these places that are high energy, high vibrations, high frequency, being with people and being in places. Places have energy. It's not only people. Places have energy. Believe me, I have discovered this along my life journey. So we want to also live in places that align with our energy, that are going to feed us, nourish us, support us, uplift us, not that are going to drain us and, make us feel, heavy and unhappy and stressed out, etc. And so to get clarity and to get rid of some of the waste, some of the practices that I love to practice myself and that, you've heard me share before are, really like detoxing the waste in our thoughts, in our lives, in our energy, through meditation, chanting, deep breathing, journaling, getting to know ourselves better. Physical exercise is super powerful as well to get that energy moving in the body, get rid of the waste in the body through the lymphatic system, through elimination processes. You've heard me talk a lot about constipation because so many people are experiencing constipation these days. And so really getting rid of the waste, also some low energy rituals that people might be involved in. You want to get rid of those, those rituals that are those practices and habits that are causing waste in the body, and in the mind and in the energy of us as humans, and so we want to spend time doing those, high vibration rituals and practices and habits, moving our bodies, exercise, uplifting music, reading uplifting material, not, material that's draining our energy and draining our vibration. And we also want to spend time with animals. They have such high vibration, high frequency, high energy. They're just such beautiful, beautiful beings. And, and so you can really, really, eradicate some of that like low energy in your life and in your experience. If you're spending time with animals, for example. And so you also will hear me talk about toxicity. And so, a lot of times I just had this conversation yesterday with some people who are very, very important to me. You know who you are. So I was talking about how even in our homes and our bodies and our spaces that we occupy, right? Where we live or where we might work or where we might visit, there's a lot of stale, old, toxic air that is circulating. Because we have like the heating on, we have air conditioning on, we have, very toxic, old, stagnant air in our spaces. Now, of course, I'm a big proponent and a big practitioner of deep breathing, to really like bring in that, fresh, clean, high oxygenated air, that clean energy. But something even as simple as like opening our windows, even if it's just a little bit, you don't have to open them super wide, especially if you don't have screens, I guess, to, prevent like the little birds and squirrels coming in. But, just getting some fresh air, something as simple as that can really, really, help to purify the air and get rid of that waste, that toxicity in the air. Also, of course, essential oils are beautiful, for, cleansing the environment and the air, and raising our vibration. So that's always awesome as well. Getting sunshine is super helpful to kind of, clear away some of the waste and the toxicity in our bodies and in our minds and in our essence. So I have a question here. Thoughts on religion? Just started going to church and trying to be a better person that way too. Yes, so that's the spiritual side. I personally am very spiritual as well. People have different ways of practicing and experiencing and honoring their spirituality. And I spoke about this the other day in one of my live conversations, and it's on my page. And I was talking about source and really tapping into a source, an energy that is bigger than ourselves. We are a part of a universe. We are not alone. As they say, no man, no woman is an island unto him or herself or themselves. So, I personally find it super helpful to tap into a higher source, a creator, a universal power, a universal energy. There are different names that, people use to refer to these universal powers and universal energies. And also what is very, very powerful with what you're saying too is like going to a space where you align with those other people and you align with the philosophy, I guess is what we could call it, and the belief systems, and so that is helpful. And it connects to what I was saying a few minutes ago, that we, seek out people who align with us, who align with our energy, our vibration, our interests, our belief systems, who respect us, who respect our boundaries, who respect our thought processes. And so, if that is the way that you are able to, find those people who align with you, and you're also able to express yourself freely and, to feel, like you're living your best life, then I would say that it's a good practice to have. So thank you for the question. Thank you so much. So yeah, I just wanted to come on and talk about letting go of waste because, I did a couple of spring detox raw vegan challenges in the last couple of months. And so I really was focusing a lot on helping myself and helping others to let go of a lot of waste through, high vibration foods, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs, spices, lots of hydration, smoothies, juices, fruits, vegetables. And also through other practices, like I mentioned before, meditation, chanting, deep breathing, relationships, etc. I'm reading the comment. Well, I think you're going to realize at some point in time if you're drinking the Kool-Aid or not. If it resonates with you, then, by all means, if it resonates with you, then that's basically where you are in alignment. And each person's alignment is different. Each person's alignment is unique and special, and we're not really comparable to anyone else. We're each individual. We're each extraordinary in our own ways. So your comment is Catholic religion to be exact, and not sure if I'm drinking all the Kool-Aid, so to speak. Yeah, well, you will find out for yourself what resonates with you, what uplifts you, what gives you the high energy, high vibration, high frequency. And then you can decide from there, if this is in alignment with you. That's how I would approach it. And thank you for the comment that I look great and you haven't been to one of my lives in a long time. Thank you so much for joining and for commenting. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I kind of went down the whole list of the diet, the lifestyle, elements that I wanted to talk about today about letting go of waste. So that's it for me on this topic for right now. Anyway, so let me know in the comments once I post it, if you can relate to any of this, you have any questions. And also I invite you to tap the link in my bio and go and explore my website for lots of inspiration. I have tons and tons of information on juicing, raw vegan recipes, cooked vegan recipes, my coaching programs, my books that you can easily download on Amazon, my plant-powered vegan beauty workshop. You can check out my social media links, including YouTube. And I would really appreciate it if you all would go over to YouTube and subscribe to my channel. That would be awesome. I have a bunch of content over there as well. On my website, the link in my bio, you will see tons of information, science-based, evidence-based, research-based information on nutrition. You're going to see my blog over there, information on how to handle stress, on, your romantic life, on joining retreats that I'm having coming up, traveling as a vegan, some tips there as well, some breathing exercises. I have 2 free downloads there that you can get right away. Going raw vegan, I have a quick PDF download you can get there, as well as going vegan as a couple. You can download my quick guide there. Tons of documentaries and recipes for the holidays, or seafood recipes, etc. Thank you so much for joining there, Nick. And you take care too. And thanks for checking out YouTube. Thank you. Take good care. And so, yeah, I just want to, invite you all to check out my website, see what's happening over there. And I will post this live right now. And again, thanks so much to everybody who joined, either live or on the replay. And I wish you a beautiful rest of your day, wherever you are in the world. So take good care, everybody. Bye-bye.